Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2017 live-action version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I recently had a conversation at work today with one of my coworkers about how awful the film was, and it was interesting because she said how amazing it was, but then I gave her the musical theater perspective, and we talked about it for a long time. So I need to talk about this because when they first announced that Beauty and the Beast was going to have a live action, everyone was so excited. And Luke Evans is Gaston, and Josh Gad is LeFou, and Ewan McGregor is Lumiere, and Sir Ian. God, I can't remember his last name. McKillen. Is Cogsworth. Emma Watson is Belle. So you have these massive names attached to this massive blockbuster. It grossed over $1 billion worldwide, right? Disney makes blockbuster films. We talked about that with Wrinkle in Time and how stupid that was. When they announced that Beauty and the Beast was getting a live action, they were like, oh, we're not using any of the music from the musical. Now, Beauty and the Beast, the musical, was on Broadway for 10 years, I think, 94 to 04. I saw it 4 times. It was the first Broadway show I ever saw when I was a wee little lad at the age of 4 or 5, whenever I started to go to the shows with my family. And it's just it's so beautifully done. You have the 91, the 92 cartoon from Disney. Then you have the 94-ish stage production. Then Disney did a re-release of the cartoon by adding 2 of the musical songs into a re-release in 2004, I believe, was the re-release of the cartoon. So it's the 3rd adaptation of the same Disney film. Then you have 2017's Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So all 4 is Disney's Beauty and the Beast, but they're all 4 different versions. The musical one is my favorite, followed by the redone cartoon, and then the cartoon, and then this atrocity of a movie. And I need to explain why it was awful, because so many people don't understand why it was awful. Cinematography was great. Yes, we're going to give 1 bolt for that. Costumes were great. We're going to give 1 bolt for that. Actors were great. We're going to give 1 bolt for that. That's it. That's all I can talk about. So many plot flaws in this film. So many unnecessary scenes. Plot flaws, for instance. Why the hell are they introducing this mirror that can transport them to Paris to see Belle's home in that windmill where her mother died of the plague, and then transport back to whatever other part of France? No, London. It was London they went to. Okay, great. Introduce this transporting mirror, right? But then for some reason, she has to get on the horse to then ride back to town. She couldn't just pick up the damn mirror and say, "Mirror, take me to town to save my father." Plot flaw! Big plot flaw! The horse was unnecessary, even though the horse is a main character, right? In this film, he was unnecessary because of that mirror. I loved Josh Gad's flirting as LeFou with Gaston. I thought it was great. Luke Evans is gay in real life, and he's just so perfect. I was first introduced to him through the Fast and Furious films. Amazing film series, and we're going to talk about that one day. And so many people are like, oh, Fast and Furious is awful. Why do they keep making movies? No, you're wrong. It is a multicultural phenomenon that is just glorious, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, so I loved seeing a openly gay male play a masculine, straight brownie hunter. It's cool seeing the dynamic. I loved it. Emma Watson can't sing, we know this, but she's an amazing actress. I would have preferred if they got an unknown actress to play Belle, so we can launch her into stardom, because she's an amazing actress, she's an amazing singer, she's an amazing dancer, but it didn't happen that way. My biggest issue with this film, and I could rant for hours, but I'm going to try to make this as short, sweet, and to the point as possible. The music. They had an entire set from their Broadway musical to use, and they chose not to use it. They decided to make 5 to 7 new songs for this film, specifically to get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. And guess what? Did they get one? No, because they were awful. You can't introduce these songs when you already have a plethora of material. It makes no sense. Just take the Broadway musical and make it into a live action movie, and it would have been perfect. I would not be complaining. I would not be so animated and aggravated and angry right now. I'm just so furious as to what producers allowed this to happen. This is why it didn't win any Oscars. This is why it wasn't nominated for songs. It might have won for costume. I don't actually know. I feel like it did, but like I said, it deserved on costume because the costuming was perfect. It was awesome. The CGI was great, even though Lumiere and Cogsworth were terrifying, but besides the point. Music. In Be Our Guest, right, the big show-stopping number of the first act, Mrs. Potts sings one of the songs, I'll Get Warm, Piping Hot, Heaven Sakes Is At a Spot, right? It flows. In this movie, for some god-unknown reason, Mrs. Potts goes, I'll get warm, piping hot, 5 to 7 seconds of stupid music as she's twirling up on this steamy thing, comes back down gracefully, looks at Chip and goes, Heaven Sakes, is that a spot? No! No! You killed the momentum. You shot it in the face and it's dead. You blew her face off. Dead. Stupid. Ugh. I just want to strangle whoever agreed to that. Stupid. My biggest thing, I'm angry. Clearly I'm angry. I'm very angry with this movie. Because it had such great potential. I need to collect myself. I'm sorry. I'm really mad. When you talk to people about this movie, those of the people that were never involved in musical theater said how much they loved it. And those of us who have been involved in musical theater, because I have an acting past, have all hated it because of these specific reasons. Because they choose to ignore the Broadway version. They said that they were not using any of the music from the Broadway show. They lied. They lied. They used 2 original songs from the Broadway show as musical interlude playing from scene to scene, and I wanted to murder the face of the human that decided upon this. Murder! Ugh. Ice pick. Right to the scalp. I'm so furious. So furious. I retract my statement of ice pick. We'll go with an icicle. It's more humane that way, an icicle. Sarcasm all around, people. Anyway, metaphorical stabbing. We'll go with that. As Mucho says for Mulan, dishonor! Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow. This is what this level of frustration, anger, resentment, despair. That's what this comes down to. Mucho for Mulan. Okay. I need to breathe. There's a song in the Broadway musical called Home. And every single actor that just saw me say that just went, oh my God, I love Home. That's because it's the greatest effing song in any musical that's ever been created, right? I might have been exaggerating. But in far as Beauty and the Beast is concerned, and as far as any Disney musical is concerned, that song is gold. It is perfect. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. I played Gaston in 7th grade, and I will never forget it because when the girls sang Home, everyone cried. And every time you see the musical, everyone cries when that thing is Home. The song Home was used as a musical interlude when Belle gets to her bedroom in the castle. They played it for like 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, as musical interlude from scene to scene. And I was wanted to murder everyone. Everyone involved with this show. Sarcastically. Because you don't disrespect. You don't look at this beautiful baby and smack it across the face with a brick and say, the hell with you, heal on your own. I'm not helping. No, you don't do that. This song is so pivotal because it's so emotional and it's so... Belle, her world collapsed. Her world collapsed. Maurice, her father, switched places with her. Belle said, take my place instead. And Belle goes into the dungeon and Maurice gets let go and they have to say goodbye and she's like having a breakdown. She's having a mental breakdown and she's like, is this home? Is this where I will be for... I'm just going to sing a part of it. Because some of you might not actually know what this song is. Now, it's going to be interesting having a guy sing a female part. We'll play around with it. We'll go a few octaves down. I haven't warmed my voice up, so it might be a little shaky, but one of the main parts of the song, I'll try not to overly dramatically act. This version of Home. Belle sings. What I'd give to return to a life that I knew lately, but I know that I can't solve my problems going back. Is this home? Is this where I must be forever? shut away from the world until who knows when. Oh, but then will my life would be waiting once it can change again. Build higher walls around me, change every lock and key. Nothing lasts, nothing's whole, nothing's home. The song goes on and on, tears everywhere, blah, 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 this and that. I haven't thought of that song in a long time, actually. I did mess up some words here and there. But the point is that it's this emotional, heart-wrenching song that I just butchered, and I apologize immensely, but that's what I'm talking about, man. It's this source material is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And the producers of this live-action 2017 film, which grossed over $1 billion, decided to use Home as musical interlude from a scene to another scene. Are you kidding me? Just crap on my face, why don't you? Please. Just pop a squat and let it fly. Because that's what it felt like watching this film with my mother. And she knew I was so mad watching this. Because I kept shaking my head. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So mad. Dude, so mad. We must breathe. We must learn from these mistakes. We must join in on conversations. If you have been involved in musical theater and you did love the film, I would love to know why. Obviously, like I said, if you haven't been involved in musical theater, if you're not familiar with the Broadway musical, you probably did love this movie. Great. But, like, do you want to tell me why it's so great? Tell me why it's so great. I would love to know, but I'm so curious as to the actors out there watching this. Tell me why you love this movie. And then for those of you who are watching it and you're like, oh my god, he is spot on right now, dude. Like, bruh, how have I not been able to say these words before as to the garbage that was given to us from Disney, which grossed over $1 billion. 1.7 billion? Something absurd. But I digress. We have hits and misses. We get emotional about certain things. We laugh about certain things. This is one of those moments where I am emotional about certain things. Rightfully so. Disrespect. Dishonor. Beauty and the Beast, the 2017 version, a solid 3 out of 10 bolts for the reasons I explained before. Costuming, great. Cinematography, great. Actors, great. That's it. Nah. Mucho mahalo, guys.